From the black horse symbolizing Thomas Shelby's inner demons, to a cleverly hidden throwback to The Godfather. Here are some of the mysterious Easter eggs you probably missed in Peaky Blinders. Starting off with the black horse haunting Tommy. Horses were Tommy's spirit animal. In the very first episode of Season 1, Tommy enters the scene on a black horse, and it catches your attention, right? Fast forward to the final episode of the entire series, and guess what? He exits the scene on a white horse after almost attempting to end his own life. The change in the horse's color might actually have some meaning. Could it signify a change of heart for Tommy himself? It's definitely possible. And check this out. The Shelby Gin Distillery logo features a white horse. You can spot it on the bottle label, an etched mirror at the Garrison, and even painted on the tavern's back wall. It's designed to contrast with the black horse that haunts Tommy throughout Season 5. According to set producer Nicole Northridge, that white horse symbolizes hope. She also mentioned how, in Tommy's office in Parliament, there's a picture of a white horse behind him. It connects to the fact that Tommy's mother came back with a white pony in that emotional finale conversation with Charlie. Plus, it relates to their beginnings with betting and race courses. It shows that Tommy is a man who never forgets where he came from, no matter how high he rises. On the other hand, the black horse represents the opposite, a lack of hope, darkness, and despair. It's fascinating how these horse symbols tie into the overall story. In the Season 5 opener, Tommy shoots his racehorse, Dangerous, and it reappears in the final scene of that season, where he holds a gun to his head. That black horse is a constant reminder of the darkness within Tommy. You can add the swans to that list too. After Grace's untimely death, Tommy just can't seem to get her out of his mind. Swans all over the series are a visual reminder of his late wife. But hold on, it's not all about hope and happiness. In fact, it's the complete opposite. There's this one cut scene where Tommy is looking out over a bridge and underneath swims a swan. Sounds innocent, right? Well, it actually represents his dark thoughts and his longing to join Grace in the afterlife. Almost as if Grace is calling him home and asking him to come be with her. Set designer Nicole Northridge explained how the swan becomes a metaphor for Grace and Tommy's suicidal thoughts. It gives you the chills. Keep your eyes peeled for the green tiles on the wall of the Garrison Tavern snug, and in the fireplace of the back room. They've got these pairings of white swans on them. These tiles, dating back to the 1920s, are part of a recurring visual motif in Season 5. And that's not all. There's even an abstracted swan on a wall plaque at the tavern. And when Tommy hosts a Swan Lake ballet performance, the food platters are shaped like swans. It's all these little details that make the show so immersive. But wait, we have another animal. Suppose the horse is like Tommy's spirit animal. In that case, the peacock represents the entire Shelby family, according to set producer Johnny Mead. Peacocks were a big deal in terms of design and print during that era, so it fits perfectly. But there's more to it than just that. Think about peacocks for a moment. They're incredibly beautiful, right? But there's also a sense of slight unpredictability and danger that makes you a little nervous around them. That's why you don't get too close. And that's exactly why the peacock symbol is used for the Shelbys. It captures their essence, the stunning array of feathers, the slight arrogance mixed with beauty. You can spot peacock feathers, subtly incorporated into the fabric and prints in Ada's gorgeous London house. They also make an appearance in the lavish Swan Lake banquet tableware. Interestingly, different religions see peacocks as symbols of prosperity, good luck, vanity, and pride. And when it comes to the Shelbys, peacock feathers tell us something about how these gangsters navigate the world. They move with an air of confidence and elegance. But there's always that underlying sense of danger and unpredictability. And their home turf is probably the last place you'd want to be. Yes, I'm talking about the Garrison. When they rebuilt the Garrison Tavern on the show, they didn't just slap on any old design for the stained glass windows. Nope, they went all out with a special symbol that has a deep meaning. You see, the design on the windows is actually the emblem of the Warwickshire Yeomanry, the regiment Tommy, Arthur, and John were a part of during World War I. It's like a nod to their military past. According to set producer Nicole Northridge, they wanted something that would hit close to home for Tommy. So the stained glass windows serve as a constant reminder of his time in the regiment and the lasting impact it had on him. It's a way to show that his PTSD from the war is still with him. even as he navigates through the chaotic world of Peaky Blinders. But that's not the only thing. If you take a closer look at the stained glass design, you'll spot a rising sun bursting with rays. Not only does it fit the Art Deco vibes of the 1920s, but it also symbolizes hope. It's like a ray of light amidst all the darkness and struggles that Tommy faces. It's a clever way for the show's creator, Stephen Knight, to take Tommy on a journey from the numbness of his PTSD to a more optimistic outlook as the series reaches its final season. And he has Shakespeare to guide him throughout the way. You know, in a lot of scenes, Tommy Shelby's desk is piled up with all sorts of stuff, and you can thank Cillian Murphy for that. Apparently, Cillian likes to have a busy desk because he's all about props and keeping himself occupied on set. If you take a closer look at Tommy's desk, you'll spot some interesting books. We're talking about Sigmund Freud and even Shakespeare's plays. Now, these book choices aren't just random. The set designers purposely included Macbeth and King Lear. And let me tell you, they're quite fitting. Macbeth tells the story of a guy who's hungry for power and tries to run away from a prophecy. And guess what? Tommy can relate to that struggle. Throughout the series, he's constantly questioning if he and his family are cursed by some kind of prophecy. He's always on the lookout for any threat to his power, just like the king in the play. But here's the kicker. Tommy finds more meaning in Shakespeare than in Freud. That's according to the show's creator, Stephen Knight. So forget about Freud's psychoanalysis and all that deep stuff. Tommy Shelby is more into the dramatic tales of kings and power struggles. Probably why things ended the way they did with Michael. But one person who just doesn't meet his end is Alfie Solomons. Even if it means getting shot in the face. I mean, we all saw that happen, much to our shock. But here's what you probably missed. So in Alfie Solomon's Margate apartment, they've got this cool tiled mosaic on the floor. It says Lethe. Director Anthony Byrne wanted it there to represent Alfie's crazy status as a character who basically came back from the dead thanks to Tommy shooting him in season 4. The word Lethe itself means concealment in Greek. It's like Alfie is this sneaky dude, and you never really know where he stands with Tommy and the Shelbys. He's a tricky one, that's for sure. According to set producer, Alfie is like in purgatory, stuck between life and death. It's all very deep and mysterious. When they were putting together the apartment set, the designers wanted to capture that whole Living Dead vibe. So you've got peeling paint, candles dripping with wax, and even taxidermal animals and skulls hanging around. It's like the place is decaying but always there, just like Alfie's character, who is by far one of my favorite characters, along with the one and only Michael Corleone. There were little nods the Peaky Blinders made to The Godfather. And you know what they used to make those nods? Oranges, which were used in scenes of The Godfather to symbolize an upcoming death. And the Peaky Blinders team wanted to give a nod to that tradition. In season 5, there's a scene where a journalist meets a tragic fate, and guess what? He's carrying a bag of oranges. Set producer Northridge also claimed that Tommy's office at the Shelby Company was very much modeled on The Godfather. Of course, everything was done without making it too obvious. Don't be so hard on yourselves for not figuring it out then because you have now. So, from a throwback to The Godfather, to the black horse symbolizing Thomas Shelby's horrors, here were some of the mysterious Easter eggs you probably missed in the Peaky Blinders.